Watch Mr. Wizard. That's what all the kids in the neighborhood call him because he shows them the magic and mystery of science in everyday living.
Mr. Wizard?
Oh, hi, Alan. Come on in.
Hi, Mr. Wizard.
Hi. See this potato?
Yeah.
You see what's through it?
What?
Yeah, it's a weak old soda straw.
How'd you get it in there?
Well, all I did was to plunge it like that after a couple of tries. Here's a wastebasket under there to throw them in. Here, you try it. You take a soda straw and plunge it right straight through.
Just plunge it in?
Yeah, go ahead. Here, try another. I'll have to admit that there is kind of a secret. And before you leave today, I'll show you how to do it.
All right.
Okay? It's kind of a secret. But the reason I did that with the soda straw is that ordinarily you think of a soda straw as what? Something to drink milk through?
Yeah.
Kind of weak.
Yeah.
Falls apart pretty easily. Well, today we're going to use the soda straw for everything except what it's meant for. We're not going to drink anything through it at all. In fact, we're going to use it to do some tricks, such as putting it through a potato, and at the same time, find out a lot about science.
All right.
First problem now is a little sort of trick. See that bottle there?
Yeah.
You have to pick it up off the table using a soda straw. But you can't touch the outside of the bottle.
Pick it up.
Off the table, yeah. You can't touch your hand to the bottle, of course. And you can't touch the soda straw to the outside of the milk bottle. Go ahead, pick it up.
Pick it up.
Looks impossible, doesn't it? Well, it is. It is, as long as you kind of use the soda straw the way you're using it. But let's see if I can give you a clue. Because of the peculiar, well, I won't say anymore. Here's a kind of an old science trick. See if you know this one. Can you support these books up off the table using only a piece of paper?
Well, not like that. Not flat.
Or how would you do it?
Well, I'd roll it up.
Oh, okay. Well, you do that. Here's some rubber bands, and what do you do?
Well, roll it up.
Mm-hmm.
Rubber band. Put it over.
Okay, now what do you do?
Now,
very good. Try the other, see if those will go on too. Keep adding more weight. Go ahead.
all right.
It's getting close.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Maybe you could back it up a little bit like this.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think 2 is about as much as you can do. Why was it that, while it is true that you cannot support a book with a piece of paper just flat, why is it that when you rolled it into a tube like that you were able to?
Well, when you roll it into a tube,
Yeah.
you have different layers. You make different layers.
Wait a minute now. That means that I could take this piece of paper and cut it into 3 layers, and then I could put the layers here like this, and would it support the book?
No. Well, you roll it.
Yes.
You roll it into a tube.
Why should rolling it into a tube make it any stronger?
Because it has no end. So it makes one continuous circle so that it's supporting the middle of the book or wherever you place it around that whole area.
What you're saying, really, perhaps in more scientific terms, is that true, you have several layers. But the important thing is that when a cylinder like this starts to fall, then in order for it to bend, this part must kind of compress a little bit, and the other side must expand. In other words, in order to compress. So that really one side is supporting the other. And that's why when you form something into a cylinder like this, or a tube, it's really much stronger than just the plain material by itself. Now, how about around the house? Can you think of any methods where, well, here, let me give you a clue. Here is a piece of metal.
Yeah.
If this little tiny thin piece of metal were flat, you could bend it quite easily, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But the fact that it's made into a tube means that all the sides support each other, so it's quite strong. Now, can you think of anything that you know about that's made out of tubing like that because it's so strong?
Well, bicycle is made out of tubes like that.
That's right. Bicycle's
the framing.
Right, the frame of the bicycle. And they do it so it's very light and at the same time quite strong. How about that thing right behind you there?
Yes, the chair.
Yes, the chair. See, this is a tube right here, isn't it? In fact, I took one of the bottom parts off. Run around over here so you can see it. You can see that part right there, see it?
Yes, it's
You see
hollow.
that it's hollow. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the same machine that made this tube also made the bicycle frames. It looks like about the same size as the bicycle frame.
Very possible.
So the chair is quite strong because it's made out of these tubes. Now, excuse me, let me put it back. Okay, well now that was a clue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, solve the problem.
Well,
In other words, the problem is that you have to somehow use the idea that this soda straw is a tube, and then you will be able to pick it up. You see, when you think of an ordinary soda straw, you think of it as being a relatively weak thing that's easy to bend. And that's true. Watch, I can bend it quite easily. See how easily I bend it? But it also has considerable strength when you pull, doesn't it?
yeah.
You can pull on it, and it has quite a bit of strength. You've noticed that. Let's see if we can combine those two. The idea that it bends easily, the fact that we've made a little tube here, and the fact that it is quite strong when you pull it, and be able to pick up the bottle. Now notice the bottle has a narrowing neck. So I'm going to bend the soda straw over wider than the neck of the bottle. And now watch. See what I'm trying to do?
Yes, you're trying to hook it between the two
You have
sides.
to bend it just enough so that when it opens up, when it gets inside there, if I can...
There.
There. Okay, now, I think you can do that? You try. Okay, you try. I want to get a scissors and cut up a couple of little pieces of straw while you try. Get it?
Not yet.
Almost. You got to just get it the right level. Okay. Well, now you practice that at home till you can get it so it's just the right length. The reason I want to go on, however, is that I cut off a little piece of soda straw that corresponds to that little piece that goes across here. And I want to show you how really much stronger it is than you think. Here, you put it between your finger and your thumb like that, and squeeze now. And squeeze it, and try to squeeze it as hard as you can, and just flatten it. Go ahead. Squeeze. You can't even do it?
No.
What a weakling.
Oh, my thumb.
Yeah, in fact, look at your finger. Our books just fell over. Look at the thumb and the finger. You see, you got a hole right there where the straw was. In fact, it's almost impossible to do that. If you get a short enough piece, I don't think I could do it either. If I bend it, if you bend it just a little bit, why, then it'll do it. So you try that at home, too. Cut off a little short piece of soda straw and try to challenge somebody to bend it.
All right.
Now, you perhaps hadn't thought about it before, but this same idea of the soda straw having a lot of strength because it's a cylinder is really illustrated quite well with something else that's quite common around the house. Look.
Looks like straws taken on a piece of cardboard.
Yes, doesn't it? They all look like soda straws, and why do they do that?
To make it stronger.
Yes. In other words, if you have this piece of cardboard and you bend it this way, it's quite flexible, isn't it?
Yes.
But if you try to bend it this way, it's much stronger. In fact, I'm going to combine the idea of these little tiny tubes with a bigger tube, and you watch. That kind of flimsy little piece of paper, if I do it like that, paste it into forming a double tube like that, you come on around over here.
All right.
I'll set this down here on the floor. And set that piece of paper up here. You put one hand over here to help support yourself. Put one, and I'll put your foot up here, and try to step on it, and try to get your weight on it right flat. That's it. Keep it. Don't let it bend. Don't let it bend. Ta-da-da! You did it. Oh, you've gone How come we were able to support you with just that flimsy piece of paper?
Well, when you rolled it up, you made layers and you made a wall and formed a cylinder, which is quite strong.
And when they want a stronger piece of cardboard, they sometimes paste a piece of paper out here, and then it's quite strong. Okay, anyway, you see the idea now, how we have taken a soda straw and found out that it was quite strong and investigated and found out something about the engineering involved in making something stronger. Now let's use a soda straw as a source of smoke. Over here, I want to use some as a source of smoke. We're going to be lighting a lot of soda straws, so I'll light this candle so that we don't have to keep lighting matches all the time. Now, different kinds of soda straws will work, but instead of using the thin ones that we were using before, I want to use a thick one this time. And I don't know whether you've ever used a soda straw as a big match, but you can use it to light a fire or something.
Yes.
But if you let it burn back, about an inch or so, and then pinch the other end, watch what happens. Watch up there by the flame. You see how that smoke comes out of there?
Wow, it's pretty thick.
Yes. A nice, good supply of smoke is a very handy thing, because with it, you can do all kinds of things. Here, I'll try to get the smoke to come out here and let's investigate some air current. I'll get the smoke out here, and you just move your hand very slowly past the smoke. Let's see. I'll have to get around on this side now. Okay, as soon as we get a nice supply of it coming out, you put your hand here like this. Ooh, look at that already. See it? Just as we moved. Okay, now slowly bring your hand by. See how you can tell what happened? Now bring it back.
It follows the way my hand goes.
Yes, and in fact, it's a good indication of what is happening to the air itself. So whenever you want to check what is happening to the air, like in a smoke tunnel, you can use this in place of it.
Oh.
Now, where does that smoke come from?
Well, from what's burning.
Well, not really. It is sort of from what's burning, but I thought perhaps you might be... why should you get so much smoke? If you have an ordinary piece of paper and you burn it, why, there might be some smoke, but it certainly doesn't come pouring out of here like that.
No.
Let's see if we can illustrate where does the smoke from anything come from. You know, what is smoke anyway?
It's a vapor.
That's right. Well, yes and no, but there's little tiny particles of some kind.
Oh.
In fact, you know, when here's a glass, you hold it over top of the candle and to put out the candle, and you watch the smoke. See if you can tell where the smoke from a candle comes from. Now, see that smoke?
Yeah.
What is it that's smoking?
The wick.
Oh, I see, the wick. Well, yes, that's possible that it could be the wick, and in the case of the soda straw, it would be the paper. Right? But I thought maybe you might think about that wax. So I thought maybe you might suggest the wick. So I've taken some candles without any wick, just the wax, and put them over here in that test tube. See them?
Yes.
Let's light the blowtorch here and heat up that wax. And
It'll just melt.
well, it's true, it will melt, but I think you may be surprised at what else happens. Watch. Now, you're right. You want to get around over here because I want you to be able to see up in here. Now, see what's happening right here? It is melting, just as you said.
It's also starting to smoke.
Yes. You see how it's starting to smoke?
Yes.
Okay. Now, isn't there wax like this on a soda straw, like this? There's wax on it, isn't there? So what is really happening here is when you heat up the wax, it is true, it melts and changes to a liquid. But there's so much heat here, the liquid is being changed into a gas. And when the gas cools off without a flame being around, it condenses into this little droplets of wax. Now, if I can cool it off more, even more smoke will come out. So I'm going to blow into there. Now, you watch.
Wow. Quite a lot of smoke is coming out now.
See, by cooling off those particles of the of wax more, I can make more smoke. So you can hear the good supply of smoke when you blow into it. So do you need the wax in order to make the candle smoke? I mean the wick, not the wax. The wick.
Yes.
The wick is helpful, but perhaps from this you can see that certainly wax is a good source of smoke too. So let's take a look at the soda straw again and see now if we can figure out where all that smoke comes from.
But
Yeah?
if you melt the wax, why doesn't the wax in the soda straw burn?
Well, let's see if we can figure it out. Next time, when I light it,
Yeah.
I'll light it just as I did before and let about an inch or so of it burn.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that if I don't pinch this end, it continues to burn up there, and there's very little smoke there, and there's very little smoke here. Now watch what happens when I pinch it. See how smoke comes out the minute I pinch it?
Uh-huh. But why does it come out?
Well, I think this is the answer. The inside here, there's wax also, as well as on the outside. So when this fire gets here, and it's going to melt that wax and make it very hot, just like I did with the blowtorch. And if I don't let any air in there, why then that wax will not burn and will come down that hollow ash. You see the ash is all hollow? And when it comes out here, why then, of course, it's cooled enough so that it makes smoke. So that's why I think it works. And it just happened I discovered it one day when I was doing some experimenting, and that's why you get the nice source of smoke. Now, why don't you do some experimenting? Here, you make your own this time, and this time put a puddle of smoke right down there on the table and see if you can see what happens to the air currents on the table.
All right. I'm going to start it.
Let it burn back about an inch or so. Now try it right down here. Put the smoke down there. You notice sometimes when the ash is still kind of hot, it flashes down there and starts to burn, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
There.
Okay. Now try a little puddle of it right there. See how it hangs there on the table?
Yes.
Now, notice that neither one of us moved, and yet suddenly an air current came along. Hard to tell where those air currents come from.
It must be going that way. When the smoke...
Well, now watch when you move your hand away, though. Here, I'll get you another smoker. This time, try investigating what happens when you start here at the table and move over to that edge. In fact, here's the glass of water. I'll try dipping the end in it to cool it off. Maybe that'll help so it won't... Now pinch it once. Whoops, we lost the ash.
Smoking.
Still smoking?
Yeah.
Okay, now pinch that one and see if you can get it to go.
Oh, boy.
Okay, now work your way slowly down the table right over to that edge one time. Okay. Whoop. Here, I can help you. That's it. Now work your way out.
It's forming a mist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right all the way to the edge. Whoop.
Oh.
Now what happened?
Ow. What's going on?
Yeah, here, take this one. What happens when you get over to the edge now?
Well, it went up instead of going...
Squeeze this around.
It went up instead of going sideways like it was before.
See how it goes up? You expect it to go down, but what does that tell you about the air currents coming over the edge of the table there?
Well, that there must be an air current going up because it's pushing the air out.
Okay, now give me this one. I want to do something. Here are 2 glasses of water. I want to put this smoke by this one.
Yes.
You see what happens to it?
Yes.
Okay, now I'll put it by this one. Now I'll put it by this one. One of these glasses has hot water in, and one of them has cold water. Can you tell by what's happening to the smoke which is which?
Well,
What's happening to the smoke, first of all?
Well, when you put the smoke here, the smoke goes up.
That's right. And when I put it here?
When you put it there, it goes down.
I'm going to burn my finger, too, here in a minute.
So,
yeah,
this must be the hot water,
Yeah.
and that must be the cold, because hot expands, and cold contracts.
Well, but you remember, we're only testing the air on the outside of the glass, so if we do find that the smoke is affected here, what it means is that we're testing the heat that is coming through the glass and heating up the air next to the glass. Now, you see how that's going up? So that this is an extremely sensitive indicator of what is happening to the air around these 2 glasses. And you'd say which is hot and which is cold now?
That's hot and that's cold.
Okay, well, you put your finger in it. See if that's true.
That's hot. Oh, that is hot.
Yeah, and this one?
That's cold.
Okay, you were right. So you see now how instead of thinking of a soda straw as just a plain, ordinary, week-old piece of paper with wax on it, you can now use it as a smoker and investigate very delicate air currents, even around a glass of hot and cold water. Well, if I give you a soda straw that's shaped like that with that paper on it, do you know what to do?
Do it all the time.
You stand right up there. See, there's a box up there?
Uh-huh.
See if you can hit it.
All right.
Oh, boy. Well, here's another one. Try that one. That went off, way off in the other direction. Hey, almost.
Hello.
Now, if you do this for a while, pretty soon you run out of these little paper coverings that are over the straws, don't you? So here's how to solve that problem. Get boxes of two different kinds of straws, thick ones and thin ones. See? So you can take the thick one, pinch the end up here, and twist it to make it airtight, if possible, like that.
Yes.
And then take the thin one and put it inside.
Oh, so it makes another covering.
Yes. All right, now try it. A little high.
A little high.
Okay. Now, why does this work?
Well, because when you pinch the end, it makes it airtight. And when you blow through this straw, it comes out the other end and it pushes against here. And since it's blocked off, the air pushes forward and this goes with it.
Right. Just like an air rifle.
Right.
Ah, very good, right in the middle. Okay, now, the fact that this soda straw is airtight means we can investigate some other things. It's airtight when you drink through it, too, isn't it? Because the air can't get in and interfere with the drinking. Let's now see how that airtight business helps us put the soda straw through the potato.
All right.
All ready? When you tried to get the soda straw through the potato, you tried to plunge it through, just as I told you. But here's the little secret behind it. When you get ready to plunge the soda straw through the potato, most people are just going to try to do it straight through this way. If you do it like that, it would probably bend. But here's what you do when you try. First of all, keep the soda straw rather straight up and down. Mm-hmm. Then, just as you're ready to start down, pinch the top like this between your fingers.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you pinch the top between your fingers, the minute you start down here and the soda straw enters the potato, what is the soda straw filled with?
It's filled with air.
Okay, now how can that air get out?
It can't get out.
No.
So that it pushes forward.
The deeper you go into the potato then, the more and more and more this air is going to be compressed inside here, and that's going to make the straw stiff.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever had an air mattress that you blew up? It gets quite stiff, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but when it has no air in it, it's quite flexible. So the secret now is to come straight down and at the same time pinch the top of the soda straw to get the air.
Oh, it's full of potato up to here, too.
Where? Right, yeah, right up to there. It's all full of potatoes. So then the other thing that you must do is the minute you plunge it through there, why you sort of nonchalantly, casually straighten up the soda straw so that people won't notice that you pinched it.
I see.
Okay, you ready? You try it now.
Okay.
How do you do it now? If you go through, you're going to go through, and you may go through the desk down here, so you better hold it up a little bit. All right. Oh, you missed it.
I missed it.
I would suggest if you try this that you have a lot of soda straws handy because it doesn't work every time. Now you're a little too high, and I think you're a little crooked, so straighten it out. Aha!
I did it.
Yeah. Oh, but you got
Right in the eye.
right in the eye, too. Remember, you got to straighten that out quickly, otherwise they will get onto the trick. See, so okay, very good. Now, the fact that that was full of air means that it was made it nice and strong. In fact, probably one of the oldest of the science experiments that are a lot of fun is to change the airtight soda straw into an oboe. Have you ever done that? Yes.
No.
Those are the thin ones, which I don't like as well. I like the thicker ones better for the oboe. So here are some thick ones. And here's how to make the soda straw into an oboe. Take a straw and pinch it flat at the end, just like this, like when you were going to plunge it through the potato. But this time, take a scissors and cut the ends off like that, see? So what you're trying to do is to form two little reeds. See those two little reeds there?
Yeah.
Now, what you're trying to do is to get them to vibrate when you blow. So when you put them in your mouth, put your lips about down here so that they're free to vibrate, and blow gently, trying to get those two things to vibrate back and forth. If, when you blow, air goes through without making any noise, it means that the two reeds are too far apart. So then you pinch them together here with your lips, and then try again. If you blow and no air goes through and you don't hear any sound, it probably means they're too close together. So then, with your lips, sort of separate them so they're a little further out like this, and then keep blowing until it works. So here, you try that. You just blow that. That's all right. Now, those reeds may be a little long, so you may have a little trouble getting them going. But now let's try. You blow gently at first, and then harder. Ah! So you can cup your hands around and make a lot of noise, too. Now, you see what's happening in your case? I think I told you the reeds were a little long. So what you do is you get them starting to vibrate, and then suddenly they go plunk and get closed. So don't make them so long like that. By the way, what makes the sound?
Well, when you blow in, the reeds vibrate, and as it goes through the straw, it's also vibrating against the walls of the straw.
Well, really, the column of air inside is vibrating up and down, and that's what makes it go. So watch what happens if I change the length. Now, watch. And you can also go back down again, but you have to make the straw in a little different way.
Yeah.
So as I'm getting ready, making the straw, getting ready to do it for you, we've now seen how we can make a soda straw lift up a bottle by making it into a column. We've also seen how you can use it to make smoke, and now we're using it as an airtight container to see how musical instruments. So you see, you can have a lot of fun with a soda straw as well as learn some science. Now, do you see what I'm doing? With a nail, I'm poking holes on one side of the soda straw and enlarging to make sure that air can come out. And then if I blow, listen.
Watch Mr. Wizard is presented each week at this time by the Public Affairs Department of the NBC Television Network in cooperation with New York University.